Imtiaz Gul is the Executive Director of the Centre for Research and Security Studies, and he joins us now live from Islamabad. Welcome to the programme. I want to speak to you about the humanitarian situation, first of all. Are neighbouring countries able to cope if more Afghans continue to flee?
Good morning. Let me first say that this emergency evacuation has become a scandal. The United States is saying that all those worked with them in the past 20 years will be evacuated. So they are talking of a handful of 18, 19, 20,000 people. Now, the signal that they would evacuate all their allies have triggered a real humanitarian crisis. What kind of message are they sending, not only the United States, but other lead NATO countries by evacuating people who have been working with them? Does this mean that if half of Afghanistan, half of the 30 million Afghans had been working with them, they would all be evacuated? So I think they have, in fact, become a source of humanitarian crisis by signaling, telling the people, well, come on, we'll take you on board to the United States or to Canada or to Europe. So this automatically brings a pressure on all those people who are staying behind. And, we should not forget that Dr. Abdullah, Hamid Karzai, and so many others have stayed back to welcome the Taliban, to try to form a government which is acceptable to everybody, an inclusive government. And this is the only hope, that if we get to an inclusive government acceptable to everybody, that it could stem the exodus of the Afghans, all those Afghans who are fatigued, who are tired of four decades of conflict, all these years. So I think the American administration has, I would say, handled the entire issue in an extremely irresponsible way and has triggered this humanitarian crisis.
And I'm sure you saw President Biden's first sit-down interview where he seemed to, he did fight back criticism of the way he's handled it. But you mentioned something there, the formation of a government. What do you think that could look like? We know Mullah Baradar is back in Afghanistan.
I think the Taliban are talking to all the veterans. The names I mentioned, Gulbuddin Hikmatyar, Hamid Karzai, the former president, the peace mission chief, Dr. Abdullah, they are all eager to join hands with whoever has the upper hand, and vice versa. Just because the way the Taliban could capture the entire country was also indicative of the unwillingness of most of the governors and the commanders to fight. I think all these people who have influence in their respective areas of origin in the north, in the west, they all, I think, behind the scenes convey to the governors and the army commanders not to indulge in fighting.
If I may just jump in very quickly, yes or no, in that list of people that you mentioned regarding the formation of a government, Ashraf Ghani was not there. Do you think he could ever come back to Afghanistan?
I think Ashraf Ghani has left big scars on the face of Afghanistan. He has humiliated Pashtuns by having hung on to power just because of his personal ego and trying to survive for as long as possible. He himself will be remembered, I think, long for having obstructed a peace process, which could have culminated in a different way than we are seeing today.
Okay, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to speak to you. Imtiaz Gul, the Executive Director of the Centre for Research and Security Studies. Thank you.